Good evening, everybody. Let me just double check that I am recording this. Okay, so this is lesson 5. So we've done so much already. My goodness, how time absolutely flies. And well, I hope everything's going okay. I know I've spoken to you, so it's just about keeping doing the work. And as you learn more and more and more, your level of awareness will just get higher and higher and higher. So this is lesson 5. So just to recap our story so far. So we did lesson 1, and that was all about goals and your affirmations against those goals. So if we remember, it is literally all about the committed decision to your goal. There is no back door. Now, whenever you do this program, you pay a lot of money to do this program and there's no refund. That's because you need to be uncomfortable and have no back door. You need to make this work. Okay, that is one of the reasons why it is set like that, because as soon as you get uncomfortable, you try and go off and you do something else. So that is the reason for your goal to be so high up there that you're going to make it happen. You've got to. You have no choice. And there's the different levels of goals as well. So you will have some that you want to be able to achieve on your way to that goal so that you can make smaller goals, but it's your top one that's actually drawing you in like a magnet. And when you get those aligned so that when you say something on the bottom level and it shoots you to the top, that's what you want. You don't want to be having a zigzag approach to the top main goal. They should all be aligned, okay? So if you have a life vision up here, then when you say something at this level down here, it shoots you right up there, okay? So that you can deal with this level on a day-to-day basis. But that first thing in the morning, you're going over your main goal and you're visioning it and you're feeling it and you've got everything going. Now, one of the things that I realized about goals is that, and how you're really programming your subconscious. When I learned to type, so we all talk about, learning how to drive a car, but you have such a big desire to really get that going. And I was thinking of something that I had to do that I didn't really have a goal for, but that I programmed my body to make it happen. Now, that would have been Irish dancing. So yes, in the Irish dancing, I don't remember ever wanting to be first in Irish dancing, but I do remember at the same time wanting to be first in the pony club. So I know where my desire was then, but this was my mum's desire. Now, right from an early age, from when I can't even remember, she put me in Irish dancing classes. Now, every day she drilled me. I remember being in the back garden, being drilled and drilled and drilled, and I just did it. I wasn't thinking about winning. I literally don't even think I was thinking, but I was made to do the same thing every day, every day, every day. And guess what happened? At the age of 10, I was number 1. I was a Northern Ireland champion in Irish dancing. Do you know, I don't even remember it. But there's the thing, that's how powerful affirmations are. And I realized that if you just keep, it's like typing. When I learned to type, yes, I wanted to be able to type, but I never really thought about that. But on a day-to-day basis, I was going, I can't even remember the letters now, but I think it was JK, JK, JK. And I did that until I got it right. Then I was able to add in another couple. And now I can't even tell you what's on the keyboard because I just literally type. Let me have a look at that. I think it was JF, JF, JF. And that's what I had to actually do. That was my day-to-day job. That's what I had to do. And I did that 5 days a week. And then we had a change. So that's how powerful your affirmations are. So find a sentence that you just say over and over again that you know will get you to your goal. Okay. So the next one was all about the knowing doing gap. Now, this was really that, well, you know this stuff. Why aren't you doing it? Well, there's a huge big paradigm in there stopping you. And this was the start of you recognizing your habitual behavior. What were you doing and why are you not doing it? And what are you doing that's taking you away from your goal? It really is that the behavior that you're doing every single day, is it taking you away to your goal, away from your goal, or towards your goal? So that's where lesson 3 came in, was the infinite mind, and really understanding the whole thing about this was your non-productive actions and your non-productive thoughts. So again, more paradigms were coming out, more paradigms, and you may be changing your goal and you may be changing your affirmations because you realize, oh my goodness, this is bigger. I cannot get to this unless I deal with this. And so things are changing every single week, you know, which led you then into the secret genie, which is how the mind actually works and how to change those results. So rather than get stuck at a circle, because if you're constantly looking at the outside, and then it's like the report card syndrome, as Bob says, is that, you know, if you keep looking at the report card and you go, oh my goodness, I'm crap, I got a D. And then, you know, people have lived in their lives going, well, I wasn't very good at maths. Oh, and I'm not very good at maths because they got a D 20, 30 years ago. And so they've based the rest of their life on that. That's exactly the same with your bank account. If you look at your bank account and you keep looking at it and think that is the end result and that's where you are and that's your future, it's the quantum zeno effect, and it will literally remanifest it. So all the work you've done in the morning, visualizing lots of money in your bank account or whatever it is, visualizing your new home, then whenever you look at your bank account and you see nothing, and then you start thinking from there, you've just blown all your good work. You need to think from the place. So let me ask you, if you were the person that you are in your goal and your vision, how would that person be? How would they be? You've got to be here before you start to think anything else. And that's what you are aligned with. And to keep that alignment up here, stop thinking from here. It's not going to get you the results. So really everything is paradigms. They should be coming at you thick and fast, literally by now, where you're recognizing them. I've picked up on a couple recently, and I'll tell you more about that as we go on. But get your affirmations and say them over and over again. Have that counteracting statement. Be completely honest. Don't think that something doesn't matter. If you felt something in here and you felt a disconnect, sort it. Don't leave it. Yeah, there's a disconnect. Stop. Don't try and fight it. Go into it and go, what are you trying to tell me, body? What are you trying to tell me? And be honest with yourself and find out where you are right now, so you know how to either say the affirmation over and over again or correct the memory. And I'm going to talk about that again. So it's about doing the work all day. Okay, all day. You are the cause of everything that is happening in your life. And when you can get that idea into your head and into your body and into your subconscious, you will realize that this is the work that you've got to do. You can't just do it in the morning. The morning and the evenings and your meditations during the day are to either bring you to a place of calm or to raise your desire to feel it and feel your big goal and feel your big vision in your life. Your day-to-day work is to make sure that you catch every thought. You cannot there's a habit of thinking in here, okay? So the work I've been reading recently is Joseph Murphy and Ernest Holmes, and it's literally the work that you're doing in here. This is 80% of your day. This is actually probably only 10%, okay, either side. Bookmarking is really good, but if the 80% of your day, you're beating yourself up for not being good enough or not being at your goal, you've just negated every other piece of work. Believe me, I've done it, and we've all done it, okay? So have a counteracting statement for everything that you've got going on. So if you haven't got any money, it's a statement like, I am one with the source. There is one mind, and I am one with that mind. I am the cause of everything, and source energy supplies to me in an instant and continuous way everything that I need, and this matter is now sorted. Or go to your vision, whatever it is, it takes you to counteract. But do never finish a negative statement. Do not allow it to come out of your mouth. Find a different way. If somebody asks you, how are you getting on? Say, I am right where I'm supposed to be. Everything always works out for me. Everything is working out for me. Anything but the negative statement. Okay? So I cannot stress that enough about that habitual thinking, because in the apple is contained in the apple seed. The oak tree is contained in the acorn. There is a pattern that's going on there that the acorn can't change where it's going. The apple seed can't change where it's going. There's a pattern in there. What is your pattern the 80% of the day? What is that pattern of thought? Are you wealth consciousness or are you lack consciousness? Realize that there is an abundance in this earth. If you look around at nature, and you're even walking on it, There is abundance absolutely everywhere. And money is just spiritual energy or source energy, or what you want to call it, because everything in this earth is energy. Everything. That is a scientific fact. If you took the world and you squashed it right down to find the matter, it would fit as a tennis ball. I don't even think it's a tennis ball in your hand, because everything is energy. If you don't believe me, go and research that. Research quantum physics and research metaphysics. Just go right ahead and research that. So it's really important that you think of everything as coming from the same source. We're just different vibrations of the same energy. Okay? So what is your pattern of thought during the day? Thoughts are things, because everything has been created, everything seen has been created from the unseen. Okay, I'll say that again. Everything that is seen is created from the unseen. Okay, so everything that you see is an effect. It's done. Just like the MRI scan, which showed you that our conscious brains were 6 to 10 seconds behind our subconscious. Okay, everything is an effect. It's basically you're behind the time as soon as you notice it. So why would you go messing around in effects and conditions? You've got to come back to self and think from the inside out, not from the outside in. This is probably one of the biggest habits. If you can get this right now, you will change your life so much quicker. You must think you are the cause. Everything that is seen has been created from the unseen. Okay, so you don't see things happen, do you? Like the electricity. You don't see electricity, do you? But you know the effect of it. Okay, so it's life. We don't see life, but we are the effect of life. The trees are the effect of life. We don't see the energy that creates the tree, but we know it's happening. Okay, so do the work all day. Lecture over. Okay, so the next one is thinking into your results. Okay, and I'll show you why this program has been called that, because you will see whenever we do the genie again about thinking into your results and why it's actually called that. Because really what you are doing is thinking from your results, but you're thinking into them. Okay, but not thinking from these results down here. It's up here as if your goal has already been achieved, and then think into your results from your goal achieved. Okay, so this is about using your intellectual faculties, and this is really, really good. This is when you get stuck. Now, over the next 2 weeks, it's about practicing this over and over again, because when you get stuck, this will help you through to actually reason your way out of a problem and to logically use your mind. So let's crack on. Love this quote that Bob had said in the lesson. An educated person is not necessarily a person with an abundance of specialized knowledge. An educated person is someone who has developed their faculties of their mind so that they can acquire anything that they want or its equivalent without violating the rights of others. You have no reason to go out there and change conditions and change people to suit you. Okay, if you want to change, you need to go inside and use your intellectual faculties and create what you want. Remember the effect, you're seeing the effect 6 to 10 seconds behind it's actually happening. Okay, so you're behind the scenes. So go back in and remember that you are the cause of absolutely everything. The thing that gets in the way is our senses. As Bob says, it's a 6-lane highway, 5-lane highway actually going down, and it's crashing and burning through your head all the time. Now, you're going to have to switch them off, because your sensory factors are only telling you about the effects. Okay? I'll need to say that again. Your sensory factors are only telling you about the effects. Do not use your sensory factors unless you like the effects to repeat the same thing. If you like the effects that your sensory factors are giving you, then by all means, listen to them and have them brought back in again. If you do not like what you see, shut them off. Shut them off. easier said than done. I know. But this is what you're going to be learning. This is the application of this lesson, is shutting off your senses. This is where the terror barrier lesson, remember, where your senses are going absolutely mad, crushed up against that wall. You've got to shut them off to get to the other side. Then when the why has actually taken over your senses, you can open them up again going, yes, I love this. I like this circle. I like where I am now. But know that you're going to be growing again, and the Y becomes the X. You know the picture of the terror barrier, okay? So literally, this is the lesson to learn how to shut off your senses, because it is effect. If you don't like what you see, shut your senses off. Go back into cause, stop listening to your senses, and do the next things that whenever I tell you how to do here. I've been more or less been through that. So these are the senses. So perception, sorry, the intuitive faculties, that's what it is, intellectual faculties. So perception, will, imagination, memory, reason, and intuition. Now I'm going to go through them in a different way that's on here. Bob does it in a different way again. So again, this is my perception of everything and what's worked for me. You may take these and do something else with it, but this is how I took this lesson, and this is how I use this lesson. So the first thing that I would work with is reason. I literally just make sure, because I've made some notes here. So this is where basically you accept or you reject an idea. Literally. It comes in and you say to yourself, is this getting me closer to my goal or is it not? End of story. Accept or reject. Do that as fast as possible. Use your reasoning faculty as fast as possible and go accept or reject, and be that blunt. If you reject and you're getting stuck, then you want to have your affirmation ready to get in there to counteract. But if you want to go, right, okay, well, I accept this idea. Let's go further down the line here, okay? So you don't want to be thinking about the idea that you've rejected. Don't even give it any second thought, okay? It's the quantum zeno effect again. It's like, I've just looked at my bank account. Just reject it. Because the more you look at it means that you have accepted it, okay? Those extra bills, the scales that you stand on, whatever it is, reject it. Stop looking at it and stop thinking about it. Move on very, very quickly, okay? Again, it's the quantum zeno effect. It will hold it in place the more that you look at it. So the next thing that you're going to do, or whenever you do accept it, is that you want to claim it. So say you've done a statement that you accept that actually, so say there's a car gone past and you really want that car, and you sort of feel, oh, I want that car. We just have to say, you know, rather than thinking negatively that you don't have it, you just go, I accept the idea of that car. I claim that car as mine in divine order. Just, it's that simple, but you've got to be that cutthroat. It's literally about giving your subconscious a command and moving on and not getting stuck. Okay, so the next one is actually just moving on. I've written some more notes here. Responding or reacting, you know, that is again with your reason. If you get stuck at this point, you're either responding or reacting to something. Okay, so whenever something comes through, if you're reacting, that means that you're completely out of control. You've left the effects to control your inside world. You literally are leaving the effects to control you. And you're being battered back and forward, and going round and round in effects and conditions, okay? When you respond to something, you do have seconds. There is a space between you reacting and responding. Responding means you take that space. We spoke about it before, about phone calls. When a phone call comes in, that you take the 6 seconds just to stop and think before stepping forward. It may only be that you have a second, but there is a space in which you can choose how to respond. Now, if you've set your day up with your intention before going into a meeting, where you're setting your intention, I want the meeting to be like this, and you visualized it, then you're going to be responding the whole way, because you're going to be the cause and you're going to be controlling things. If you haven't set that intention and you just go, well, let's just see how it goes. Well, you go in there, you're just going to react to everything that's there, and you're going to let the effects control all your thinking and all the thoughts that come into your mind. And then you will just be accepting everything that comes in. So reason is accept and reject, first of all. So the next one is perception. This is where, what is your point of view of the world? If you start with this, not just your point of view of where you are now, what is your point of view of the whole world? Do you think that it's unfair? Do you think it's corrupt? Do you think it's miserable? This is a really telling question. The answer will really tell you a lot. What is your point of view of the world? Give you time to think of that one after this, but ask yourself that question and really be honest with yourself. What is your point of view of your life? What is your point of view of the people that are surrounding you? Okay, remember that there is no good or bad. It is just your perception of it and your thoughts of it. Okay, so it's like the weather. If you have two, say we're both standing in the rain and we're looking at each other, and behind you I see sunshine, and behind me you see clouds. Okay, we're both experiencing the same rain because we're both in it, but I see hope and you see doom and gloom. Okay, maybe if you change, we did this, I said this before about, if you do have a problem, put it on a piece of paper on the floor, and then set your mastermind team around the table in your head, and then literally walk around in different places and say, what would Bob Proctor say about this problem? So it's your point of view. What is it? And if you ask yourself about the point of view of the world, that can really tell about how you think of things as you go through your day as well. So one of the things is the 333 story that belongs with this was in your book. And that story is really, really good, because it's like when you want to do something, you draw a table, and on one side how not to do it, and the other side how to do it. You don't want to be looking at the how not to do it. You don't put anything in there except for a big fat X. And you do not put anything in there. You only think about how you can do something. So what do you do? What are you thinking? How do you think of things? Whenever somebody gives you a problem, you accept to reject, and then you look at just going, oh, well, it's never going to work. That's my point of view. So again, you need to go, well, how can I make it work? So you accept the idea, you go, how can I make it work? Okay, so that is your perception. The next one will be that I work with is imagination. So we're getting through here. Imagination is the most powerful force. Everything is built in imagination. Said this before, everything is created twice. Remember that Einstein says is that imagination is more powerful than knowledge. We spend all our time gathering knowledge in that 2% that's actually working on the knowledge, and we leave the 98% to figure things out itself when we're not giving clear instruction. You imagine every thought that you have will trigger a word, will trigger a vision in your mind. You may not see it, it happens that fast, but that is actually happening because you're inside. If you took life out of this body, it doesn't have eyes, it doesn't have any senses, it can't see, it is only feeling its way. Okay, so every word will create a thought feeling. Now, if you do not have a clear image of your goal, if you don't have the big picture, your goal just isn't clear enough, because you need to be looking at your goal and feeling like it's surrounding you. Okay, so if you're going to do something, say for going into a meeting, you can imagine how that meeting's going to go beforehand. Imagine your day before you go, because bear in mind, all the effects or everything that's happening outside is behind you. It's done. Right in front of you is like a clean piece of paper. Yeah, It's just a clean piece of paper in front of you. It hasn't been decided yet. Stop deciding this front bit because of what's just happened 10 seconds ago. Write on the piece of paper in your mind. This is what I've started to do, and I literally write it out. I have one thing that's going to happen, and then I see it all happening. It's so funny. I just see it all happening. I sort of look above the piece of paper in my imagination, and it's all there. It is so clear cut. It is unreal. Okay, so your imagination is really, really powerful. So we've got I'll summarize all this at the end, so it'll go clear. So the will is the next thing. So this is where you hold the picture in your mind. You hold the picture. The will is not something to be projected on the outside world, okay? That you use your force to change conditions, use your force to change effects. Wow, did I do that for a whole year for Arbonne, using my absolute force of will to make things happen. Now, it worked for me until I got to a certain level. When it didn't, when I wanted to go higher, it didn't work. It is the fly at the window again. So the window is open, but the fly is at another part of the window, banging on the window, using its force to get out whenever it could actually would just go, step back, be calm, think, be tranquil. It would see that the window was actually open. So the reason why force negates everything, it absolutely negates everything, okay? Force causes you frustration and also causes you worry and anxiety. Frustration is actually whenever you're working for nothing, and worry is you're strangling yourself. That's what those words actually mean, okay? So force, whenever you think that one of the laws is the law of correspondence, which means that everything is omnipresent, everything is here, everything has been already created, you're just not aware of it. You're just not aware of it. And so we have got the most powerful force of the universe running through us, because we are life itself, just like the planets. It's the same energy. It's not a bigger energy up there. It's the same energy down here. How can you add force to the most powerful force in the world? Okay, so this is where will, if you feel force, if you feel push, it's too much. There is an article, I will look it out, or if you can look it out yourself. It's by Thomas Troward, and it's called The Lightest Touch. I will check that out for you and find it and give it to you. Basically, the lightest touch on your goal is what is needed, because once you've set the scene in motion, you've got to get out of the way and allow your subconscious to do the work. Okay, if you keep getting in the way and meddling, it's like you've put the seed in the ground and then you dig it up to see, are you growing yet? Well, no, it's not. I mean, you're just going to keep killing it. Okay, it's watching the kettle boil. It never happens. Okay, so intuition. I love this one. Intuition is, look at it, inner tutor. Intuition, you're taught by yourself from the inside. It's not the sixth sense. It is literally your inner guide, your inner tutor. Nobody else has the answers to your questions. You can ask other people's for opinions, accept and reject, go through this, accept, reject, perception, imagination, but actually, you accept or reject it at the top, first of all, whether that actually gets you towards your goal or away from your goal. Also, you want to pay attention when you ask somebody else's opinion. Are they where you want them to be? And if they're not, well, don't listen to them. Are they going where you're going? That's fine. You may want to listen and you sort of accept or reject the ideas. But you need to ask yourself, intuition is your inner tutor, and we have completely ignored this. We've completely ignored our feelings that are telling us something, and we use our knowledge to bypass, we use our will to bypass everything that our inner tutor is actually telling us. You have every answer inside yourself. That is why this program is designed, that you do the work, and I am here to support you. I'm not here to tell you anything. I'm here to have a read of this. This is what worked for me. But I can't tell you how to do anything. I do not know. There's a law of gestation. I do not know how long your idea is going to take, because I don't know the work that you're doing inside you. Only you do, because you're looking for a full alignment with your thoughts, with your feelings. Therefore, your actions will be in alignment with your goal. If you come from your goal, if you come from your results, your thoughts, your feelings, your actions will be in alignment with your results, and that's what you get. So you must be at your goal and think from your goals, so that your thoughts, feelings, and actions align to your goal, and do that circle up there, not this circle down here. Okay. So the last one is memory. Yeah, you can actually change your memory. Your body doesn't know what's real or what's true or what's not true. So you can actually change memory. You can recreate a memory. You can create a different perception of a memory. You can take a memory and use all of these faculties to change it. I do this with people, and I've done it with people, called timeline therapy, where basically I take you along your timeline, we drop you into where you were before, and you go into that memory, and we change it. We change it all around. But you can do this so easily. You just go back in time to that memory and accept or reject the perception that you had of it. Change the perception. I've literally done it with 3 memories in the last 2 days. Oh my God, the sense, rather than having to deal with it here, today, and doing an affirmation, and doing all that work, I went back to the memory and I did the work there. And I chose a different perception, which changed the whole memory, which changed my whole thoughts, feelings about what happened. Interesting, isn't it? Try it. It absolutely set me free from, I was trying to do affirmations and work, and it wasn't shifting. It just wasn't shifting. And when I got this idea to use these intellectual faculties right back at the memory itself, wow, shift. And it was like a light bulb moment. I not only have forgiven myself, I've forgiven the people, I have forgiven everybody around it. I understand exactly what the universe was telling me. I got it. I literally got it. Okay, so this is where you can change memories. You can also create memories in the future. That's what you're doing with your imagination and your will. You're creating memories in the future. So it thinks it's already happened. So it's like normal. Remember, your goal will only manifest as to the complete naturalness as you feel it. I don't know if you heard the work that Doug was actually saying this morning. So when it's the most natural next step and you get like deja vu moments, it's because as you walk forward, you're being clothed into your desire, into your goal. And so if you create a memory in the future, like it's already happened, then it just becomes normal and natural. It's just normal and natural to feel like that actually happened. Yeah? If there's anything that I've said here today that you're unsure of, just give me a quick call and I can actually talk you through what I mean. So this is actually with, I love this statement. I see only the objective, the obstacles must give way. This is really to do with the will. So focus. Bob gives you an exercise to do, and do the exercise because it really will keep you concentrated. So do the exercise that Bob actually says. So last slide here. This is how I use these faculties. And I've told you that I've used them in the past, I use them in the present, and I can use them in the future. Okay, this is powerful, powerful stuff. The lesson is so short, I think it's 10 minutes long. And when I first heard it the first 2 times, I was just like, yeah. And then you've got Sandy saying, this is one of the most powerful lessons. And I'm like, really? I'm not getting it. This is so powerful. So when you're thinking, when a thought comes in, this new thought, okay, I want you to go reason, accept or reject. Does it get me towards my goal? If it doesn't, reject it. If you accept the idea, look at it. Is this, how are you looking at it? Is this a good thing? Is it, how can you make it work? That's the only thing is, you know, how can it get better than this? How can I make this work? Use your imagination to literally visualize what it is that you see, and be very, very specific in your imagination, and be very, very clear and focused on it is exactly what you want it to look like. The will, then you hold it in place with your will, again, on the inside of you, not pushing on the outside. The will is to be used to hold your imagination in place. Okay, that then will instruct your inner tuition, your inner guide. And if you feel it tearing apart, you need to change your thought again to get you back together, because your inner guide will tell you when you're starting, because you'll start to feel crap and it feels icky. And sometimes a lot more than icky. It's a terror barrier. Yeah, use your inner tuition to come back in and go through everything again. Okay, use your memory. When you're using your imagination and your will, you're actually creating memories. So are you changing a memory in the past? Are you rewriting the present? And are you changing the future? Have you gone into the future? So create memories that way. Now you're using your mental muscles. All this will literally use your mental muscles and will help you keep your brain alert and help you keep everything. Now remember, while you're doing this, you want your senses shut down, because your senses are dealing with effects. These intellectual faculties are dealing with the cause. And when you get stuck, this is the exercise you want to do. So these next 2 weeks are really, really important to keep you aligned and keep you focused. Do the work every morning, every evening, and all day during the day. Okay, so I hope you loved that tonight. Any questions, get back to me, but get on with, just get on with understanding Bob. And the Thomas Truard is the lightest touch. So I'll find out that article for you and I'll give it to you. Okay, have a good night. See ya. I'll just stop this recording now. See you soon, guys.